Towson, Baltimore, Maryland, but of course, the Baltimore Ravens are headed to London this week. They will be in London all weekend, and we will be in London all week. And, from a broadcasting standpoint, you'll be checking us out on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Snapchat and all of the social media places. We'll be going live from over there as well. But in advance, I thought that we would bring in some British people, some British football fans, some Americans who know London well. This guy is over on the other side of the pond, just outside of London, between London and Oxford. I have my Google Maps up because anything this guy references, I'm going to try to figure out where it is in relation whether I could visit or not. He is Paul Davison. He is Paul QPR Davison out on Twitter and has become a little famous here this week as a guy who offered a Ravens fan guide to London that the BaltimoreRavens.com have up on their website. And I threw out an APB last week and said, I'm looking for London people. And obviously, Thomas Dolby was on earlier this week with us as well to give us a little London primer. I thought we'd go across the pond to Paul Davison, Ravens superfan, based in Europe, based in the UK, and ready to flock to Wembley on Sunday. Paul, good day to you. Top of the day, sir. How's it going, man?
Good afternoon or good morning to you over there. It's 20 to 5 in the afternoon here, so I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Well, the first thing that every fan needs to adjust to, I'm sure, is the time change, right? Like we're flying over on the Tuesday night, getting in on the Wednesday. Thomas Dolby gave this incredible piece of advice to our audience. He said, if you get jet lagged at 3, 4 in the morning, get in a cab. It's the best time to see London because there's no one on the streets and you can get around very quickly. And I thought that is the wisdom of a pop star 4 decades into traveling across time zones. Now, you make your life on that side of the pond. You identify yourself as a Ravens and Orioles fan. First off, my man, give me a little background, on who you are and how you wound up a Baltimore sports fan based in the UK.
Sure. So in my line of work, I've got a consultancy for water testing, water treatment. And it took me over to Baltimore in about 2007. And I met a guy there in a bar, as you do, and we started talking football. I'd always liked the NFL. I'd followed it for years, but never attached myself to a team. I liked Brett Favre and what he did. But anyway, this guy got me into the Ravens, started talking, went out for some drinks. I got him into English football. And the friendship built. He'd send over Ravens jerseys. I'd send over QPR football jerseys. And then every year when I'd come over, we'd get to a game, have some beers, and it went from there, really. But I just liked Baltimore. I thought it was different to other US cities I've been to, like New York and San Francisco and all the tourist places. It just seemed to have a smaller town feel to it. It seemed to be a lot more friendly for an East Coast town.
How much time did you spend here? Was this a couple of days over a weekend, or were you here for an extended period?
Yeah, it was between 4 and 5 days once a year, every autumn. So it was around November. But it never coincided with a Ravens home game, so I didn't get to a game until 2012.
How many Ravens games have you attended personally?
4, including away. I went to Chicago for I don't know if you remember the away game in 2013.
When the storm came through. I was there too. We've been in the same place at the same time. I've been to every Ravens game except for it's less than 8, but my wife's had cancer a couple of times, but I haven't missed many Ravens games home or away. So, I've been to most of them and have flocked around as well, but I remember that was the scariest day. Other than getting out of New Orleans after Katrina, the Chicago thing was pretty freaky deaky. Were you in that upper deck getting poured on that you couldn't get down?
We had really good seats. We got the tickets that morning on StubHub because they were going really cheap because a lot of Chicago fans knew about the Storms and they were selling their tickets. So I think we paid about $40 for some really good seats, but it was on about just at the front of the upper deck behind the end zone. And it started out bright, didn't it? And then when the clouds came and the wind, it was like standing in a shower with all your clothes on.
It was a little bit like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. I mean, I felt like the thing, and that stadium looks a little bit like a spaceship. I mean, it just looks like it might hover and just sort of take off at some point. But it was I mean, we were watching the storm come in the press box, and they made the announcement, "Step back from the glass," and we're like, well, I don't think that's going to save us. You know what I mean? If that glass is going to go, we're probably going to go with it. Yeah, and the whole taking cover thing. Well, welcome to America, right? Was that you don't get that sort of stuff near Oxford, right?
No, not really. We get the odd bad winds, but no, nothing like that. I mean, that was. Then the crazy thing about that was it went as soon as it came, as quickly as it came. But we were just miserable, cold, soaking wet for the rest of the game. It was just couldn't wait for it to finish, and I think it went to overtime as well, didn't it?
Does that sound? Yeah, I remember Ozzie Newsome having some health issues after the game, and I remember reporting on that. So I have a whole different memory of going through the Midway airport and hearing Peter King report my story on NBC. So yeah, it was a little, sitting in Harry Carey's over a beer and reporting. And I actually ran into Mike Jaminski at the airport that night and struck up a friendship. A very unlikely. That's a basketball name in America. Look, I want to get us back to the center here, Paul, because I'm meandering all over the Atlantic Ocean here. Paul QPR Davison, that's Davison. He has a blog at BaltimoreRavens.com that now you befriended Garrett, who is a friend of ours here as well, and they published your blog, which is a little Ravens guide to London, and we'll get to that, and folks can go up there and they can read that, or they can ping you. I want to let you know what we're doing in London, and certainly invite you to be a part of our festivities on a Saturday afternoon, and you can tell our fans here about what a neat thing the Emirates Air cable car is to go over the River Thames for a couple of bucks, or a couple of pounds in this case, and we're going to do a little purple takeover over there at the O2 Arena on Saturday afternoon. We'd love for everybody to come out and get a drink with us at our Fox at XL. We're going to be partying over there on the other side by the cable car for a few hours, and some fish and chips. I love mushy peas, Paul. I know it's not for every American, but mushy peas are for me. So here's the deal for you. You're a fan over there. You've been waiting for the team to do this for years. And we sort of knew it would be Jacksonville at some point. This must be like a little bit of a Super Bowl for you, because you do sort of live and eat and sleep and die Ravens over there every week, much like all of us. This is a dream come true for you, right?
It is. It's my Christmases have all come at once. It's been something we've been waiting for, and there were heavy rumours last year before it was announced that it would be the Ravens. So just really excited to see him on my doorstep, literally. So.
Well, how many other Ravens fans do you know in your circle? Is there a little London fan club? Hey, give me an idea what goes on there when on a normal Sunday when we're playing the Steelers or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, well, it's hard to watch games. You can't just go into a bar and they'll be showing NFL. There's a few bars in London that do show NFL on big screens, but it's only select games. They televise certain games, so you have to be lucky that it's going to be the Ravens on there. It's generally it'll be New England or Pittsburgh or some of the well-known teams. So it's quite rare to be featured on national TV and then watch it in the bar, especially on a Sunday because of the time differences. The bars will close at sort of 11, 12 o'clock. But there's a few Ravens fans that I know. There's a chap that runs the UK Ravens group on Facebook. So if anyone wants to check that out, his name's Ben Mortimer, and I think he lived in Baltimore for a while, and he's back in England. But
please reach to him and let him know that I'd love to have him on the show this week as well. I'm looking for people that are expert in London, or just to say, look, I love the Ravens, and we're going to be partying over here, and here's a couple of things that would be a fun thing for you to do. I went over in July. I had a British girlfriend back in 1998, 1999, and I had visited London for a week, and I saw New Order play at this incredible castle, and and I saw a show, West Side Story of all things, an American show in Piccadilly with her family, who were all British, of course, and wanted to take the American to an American show. And I went to Stamford Bridge. I saw Chelsea play Man U. I saw David Beckham play at he was on that team at the time. So I saw I did some amazing things there, but I didn't remember much. 20 years later, and I've been around the world 5 times, and so I went over in July to kind of get the lay of the land. We landed at Gatwick. My group's going to be landing at Heathrow. We went up to Wembley. We took some pictures. We looked for some party spots. We realized Wembley's not really located in an area where there's like a whole lot going on. So we decided to do our thing Saturday, and we're staying on the east side of London so people can go to the Cannery and go to different places and get to the O2. And it was a little bit more inexpensive to save people. Some people are spending $10,000 to go over there this week. Our trip was a $2,000 trip, and everybody's going to have a great time. And but, against the dollar, you start to get crushed when you get over. That's the first thing every American realizes. You get over there, you're like, ooh, add 30% to everything. Woo, look at how much that beer cost me, Yeah,
it's in your favour at the moment, though. The exchange rate has been quite bad for us to go to the States, so it has the opposite effect for you. So, that's definitely in your favour this time. But London is expensive anyway, like any city. It's the price of food, the price of beer. It's an expensive place. It's
Paul, anything you want to say about mushy peas? I'm a big mushy peas fan. I think every American, they'll find that to be interesting because you don't get offered mushy peas in our country, only in your country. And I happen to love them, especially with a little sprig of like mint in there or whatnot. I'm down with the mushy peas.
Definitely. I was just going to say, so my girlfriend, she cooks good mushy peas and she always puts mint in it, and it makes it a bit different. But if you're getting fish and chips from a restaurant, or if you get it as a takeout and they put it in the paper, curry sauce is another thing to have with the mushy peas in a pot. It sounds strange, but dipping chips in curry sauce, it's a nice it's a nice flavour.
Americans always note when they're in London how much Indian cuisine there is there, right? Because we don't have that on every corner here, but like chicken tikka masala is a bit of a British national dish as much as fish and chips to anyone that lives there, because it is consumed widely like a hot dog or a hamburger or pizza in America, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Indian food here is excellent. It's because of the generations of Indians that have moved over here, which you haven't had. It's really, really good food. And I'm pretty sure I read a while ago it was the most popular takeaway. And when you think, with the fish and chips, it's strange that Indian is sort of number one. You won't be any shortage of restaurants, that's for sure.
He is Paul Davison. He is doing all things Ravens this week. Did you take the whole week off? I mean, is it like a week-long holiday, or no? You're.
I work, so I plan to sort of knock off work next Friday lunchtime. So I'm going to check out, out the Admiralty pub where the Ravens team has sort of organised some events. But I'm staying over. We've got a hotel booked. So I don't have to travel back and forth. So it's going to be a good weekend. Back to work on the Tuesday. So
Well, look, mate, any recommendations you want to give right now? I mean, we're going to meet at the Eye on Friday afternoon, and that's very informal. We're having our events from 11 until 2:52. Why 2:52? Because we've won 2 championships, and we're honoring Ray Lewis because that's what we did in New Orleans back in 2013. So 2:52, we're going to walk down 2 blocks to the Emirates Air cable car. We're going to take the cable car over the Thames, and we're going to take a group picture at the O2 where we shall go in and commence to eat and drink. And the O2 Arena is a lovely entertainment little thing to do that's a little bit Vegas style over there in London. And I mean, that whole area is beautiful from the Olympics, right? I mean, everything was built around there for the Olympics and for sport.
Yeah, sure. The O2 was built for the turn of the century. So it was called the Millennium Dome originally, and it was like an exhibition centre. And it cost a lot. It was a bit of controversy at the time because it cost a lot of money, and there were no real plans for what they were going to do with it afterwards. But then a group took it over and turned it into the venue that it is now. it's a bit commercialised. I mean, it's all chain bars and whatnot, chain restaurants, but it's lively and it's a massive place. They had the basketball there for the Olympics. And I don't know if you've ever seen a gig there or been into the main arena, but it's so steep when the top tier seats, you even get a warning on the ticket if you suffer from vertigo. Be careful. But being so steep gives you great views. You feel like you're on top of it. I saw Metallica there a few years ago.
I was going to say to you, if I would have seen Zeppelin there, vertigo would have happened in any seat. You know, I mean, so when I think of the O2 Arena, I think, you know, that's where Zeppelin reunited. But I think that when I think of the Hammersmith Odeon, believe it or not, on Friday night, I think I'm going to bust away from my whole family, my wife, my son, everybody. They're going to go do something else. I think I'm going to go to Royal Albert Hall and see Ryan Adams on Friday because, like, I really want to go to Royal Albert Hall. I really want to see a rock show there. The next night, there's a Beethoven's Ninth, which would be fine for, you know, 20 pounds or whatever to go and see a symphony there. But I really want to sit in Royal Albert Hall and just take in a show. That would mean something to me. We're going to do the Abbey Road walk. And, you know, if you could put me on a bus and just take me to where Zeppelin cut Zeppelin 4 and, you know, the Presence, you know, in the Pink Floyd, I would do that all day before I would really want to go to another soccer game. No offense. I like soccer. I'm a big fan. I'm all good with all that. But the rock and roll history of London would wear me out if I could go see places where the Clash and the Sex Pistols and the Beatles and all of that stuff, you know?
I was just about to say, have you heard of a band called The Clash?
Yeah, the whole deal, man. Like that, I'm a rock and roll guy, bro. That's my thing. So,
if you Google The Clash London tours, there's it's completely free. There's someone set up a website, and you can download the actual tour guide and go walk around yourself, and it points out
perfect
places where they played, where they rehearsed. There's a subway where Joe Strummer used to do busking, which is by Edgware Road. So there's some cool stuff for the rock and roll history.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to send everybody out to find you. This is Paul Davison. He's very easy to find. It's on BaltimoreRavens.com. He put a Ravens fan guide to London. You can also ping him out on Twitter as well. Paul QPR Davison. That's Davison. He's a big Ravens fan as well as an Orioles fan. I'm not bringing them up this week, bro. I'm not doing any Orioles with you right now. We're just going to keep it to Ravens and keep it on some good news. Hopefully we can beat these bums from Jacksonville squatting over there trying to pretend they're the home team. So sports your purple. Come out and join us. We'd love to see you at some point over the weekend. I won't feel complete unless I share a pint with you, Paul, okay?
No, definitely. We'll have that pint. And let's hope we outnumber the Jaguars fans as well. Well, the Jaguars, as you say. We say Jaguars.
By the way, do they really have fans? I mean, over there? I mean, is it like, are they sort of kind of the home team or no?
No. You see a lot of, obviously it's a big game for people in Jacksonville to have a trip to England. So you get a lot of tourists come over. But I don't quite know why someone would really just root for them unless they've been there on holiday or, I don't know how they're trying to attract fans as such. You do see a lot of children in brand new jerseys and parents in brand new jerseys. So I guess it's growing, but
it would help if Blake Bortles was any good, right? Right? That would probably help things. Yeah. Hey, man, always great to visit with folks from across the pond. Looking forward to you, your group, everybody in purple over there. Tell them we're coming to get them this week, and tell them to come out and join us on Saturday. We'd love to meet some locals.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheers, mate. Be well.
Take care. Bye-bye.
There he goes, Paul Davison. Paul QPR Davison, Davison. He's out of Ravens.com with a fan guide to London and was kind enough to give us some time here today and talk London. I'm reaching all my London rock stars, including Thomas Dolby and others, dear friends of mine, including Julio Bermejo, the world's foremost expert and connoisseur of all things tequila and the U.S. ambassador of tequila from the great province of Mexico, or I should I say country of Mexico. The province, what province? Is that Jalisco? I believe it's Jalisco. Well, I'll ask Julio. But I'm getting all my London friends out, my friends that have lived in London, been to London, spend a lot of time in London. So we're going to be doing a London appreciation here this week, as well as some Jaguars and some Ravens, and, of course, our big group over there. If you want to check us out, we're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook. And if you're over in London, we'd love to see you Saturday from 11 until 2:52 at the Fox at XL. It's very easy, very Googleable. It's in the Docklands area, right off the Royal Victoria stop in the Emirates Air cable car we're going to do afterward, right around 2:52. 3 o'clock, and have a couple of sunset beverages over at the O2 Arena. Why not? Because we're in London. So come see us. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. If you miss anything here, you want any of these London travelogues, you can find them all in the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We do come in crystal clear from anywhere in the world. Our tech service is always there, too. There'll be some injuries. There'll be some reports. Clearly, when the Orioles season's over, there'll be breaking news and all that good stuff. That is all available to you. One click, one sign up on the front of the website. It's all brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. And Dennis will be here this Thursday getting you ready for the jolly old weekend in England and London and the UK and mushy peas and all the things that I love. And including rock and roll. So there, have at it. Dennis is here with the SSV on WNST. That's 3 until 5 each and every Thursday here on WNST.net and AM 1570, where we never stop talking Baltimore sports.